Rob.
Hello, Marky. How's it? How are you?
Rob, thank you once again for
Mark.
offering the time. Appreciate it.
Hello, Rabbi.
Hello, Janet. How are you?
Baruch
You all
Hashem,
good?
and you?
Are you keeping warm?
We are, thank you.
Keeping warm, good, keeping safe. That's the most important.
How are
Dr.
you?
Liz. How's it, Dr. Liz? How are you?
Good to see you, Baruch Hashem. All good. How are you? Chodesh Tov. Chodesh Tov.
Chodesh Tov u'mvorach to everyone. I'm just getting ready here with all my humashim, with all my book, with all my notes. Who's else there with us? Oh, you have the Springbok shirts, Dr. Liz. Ivanovich. Oh, shalom aleichem. Ivanovich, how's it? How are you?
Good.
Good. Who else with us? Let me see. Gabriel, Erev Tov. Thank you for joining us. Brian, how's it? How are you?
Oh, well, thank you.
Good, good, good. Yes, who wanted to ask? Ivan.
You need to change the image behind you. You're looking more like the Pope than the Rabbi.
I look more like a Pope, like the Rabbi. Why?
Well,
look behind you.
Holier than the Pope. Ivan is much holier than the Pope.
You're looking about that picture.
Yeah, but when you sit in the middle, you have two chas v'sholem.
Where did you come in? Okay.
I'll get you a pink kippah and you'll be fine.
Okay, so before we start, just to take the opportunity and to wish Ivan a long life. Ivan, we wish you a long life. We're going to dedicate the shiur to your mom, Daniela Bela Bat Yaakov Reuven. Please God that the shiur that we'll make today will lift up her neshama. Ivan just finished yeshiva on Tuesday, so wish you a long life. May never see any more sadness, please God. Also, we dedicate the shiur to our friend Moti Mordechai Ben Rahma, Esther Kaden Bat Ketzia. Okay, and Lerfuat. Now it's in healing of Lerfuat. Menashe Naji Ben Farha, Liora Bat Miriam, Liron Ben Sarit. Who else? You want to add up name, guy? Anyone sick that you want to add up his name to the list? Please.
Yes, Chaim Benjamin Ben Ida. Ben Ida. He's a dentist.
Chaim Benjamin Ben Ila.
No, he's a dentist from and he's having operation at this moment.
Please God, El Narefana Lahem, El Narefana Lo. Yes.
Yehuda Leslie Berman.
Yehuda Lev Ben
Miriam.
Ben Miriam, Refuah Shlema. Okay, Shmuel Ben Michal. Who else?
Moshe Mordechai Moshe Ben Freida.
Moshe Mordechai Ben
Mordechai
Zayda.
Moshe Ben Freida.
Mordechai Moshe Ben Zayda. Okay. Freida. Okay. Refuah Shlema to them and to Chol Am Yisrael. So what we're going to do now, we're going to start the shiur, Rabotai. I'm going to mute everyone. Mark, you unmute yourself, okay?
Yeah.
After that. Okay, so we're starting. Be'ezrat Hashem, na'aseh v'natzliach, v'Hashem alenu berachamav yarviach. We are in Parashat Shoftim. Just to remind everyone, Rabota, if you didn't daven Mariv, tonight you daven Mariv. Don't forget to add up the insertion of Ya'aleh ve'yavo. Tomorrow is also Rosh Chodesh. So tomorrow you're also adding up Ya'aleh ve'yavo. You say a half Hallel. Don't forget to say a half Hallel. And Musaf shel Rosh Chodesh. Okay? So those quick few ideas just for tomorrow. Parashat Shoftim. The Torah tells us like this. Shoftim ve'shotrim titen lecha bechol sha'arecha. Asher Adonai Elohecha noten lach. V'shivtecha v'shaftu et ha'am mishpat tzedek.
Judges and officers shall you appoint in all your cities, which Hashem your God gives you, for your tribes, and they shall judge the people with righteous judgment.
Okay, so if you look at the pshat of the Dvarim, the Torah tells us that we have one of the positive command of the Torah is to appoint judges. Judges is obviously Dayanim. Officers, it means that those people that will force the law, the Torah law, that whatever the Rabbonim say, that we should listen to them. That means that the officer that we're talking about, those are the manhigim. Manhigim is the leaders that will make sure that we obligated to listen to the psak din, we obligate to listen to the Rabbonim. Okay, that's on pshat of the dvarim. But we have to understand what's hiding behind it. So the Torah tell us, and I saw a commentary, a very interesting commentary on that, what the Torah tell us, by Rabbi Meir Dan Raphael Plotsky. Rabbi Meir Dan Raphael Plotsky, just to give you a bit of history about him, he born in Poland 154 years ago, and he wrote one of his books is called Kli Hemda, beautiful book. And that Kli Hemda is about the Parashat HaShavua. And there, he said, by that the Torah tell us, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha, that means judges and officers you should appoint in every city, in every suburb, every town, whatever you call it. It's come to teach us something very interesting. It's come to teach us that the Torah tell us that we should appoint leaders, okay? That those leaders, that they're going to appoint the rabbi, those leaders, or Ba'alebatim, whatever you want to call them, that they're going to appoint the leader, the Rabbonim, they're going to appoint the Dayanim, whoever that they're going to decide, okay? They are themselves obligated to respect the Rabbonim and the Dayanim. And though that they pay their salary, and though that they appointed them, okay, they must understand that they're not exception of the rules. What does it mean? That by that they're going to respect the Dayanim, they're going to respect the Rabbi, okay? They going to cause the entire congregation, the entire nation to respect the Rabbi and the Dayan. And that's what the Torah tells us. Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha. That means judges and officers that you guys, that you are going to appoint to you. Who's you? Speaking to the leaders, the Ba'alebatim, those people that pay the heavy check, those people that have the final say, that they're also obligated to respect the rabbis. They're also obligated to respect the Dayanim that they appointed. And they mustn't think for a second, okay, that they, without expectation, they have no expectation for them. Why? Because I appointed them, I pay salary. Has v'shalom. You obligated to do exactly like the rest. And if you're gonna obey, all the rest gonna obey the law. And that's what the Torah come and teach us. I saw another commentary that brought by Rabbi Aaron Levy. Rabbi Aaron Levy born in a city of Gorondia in Spain 785 years ago. And in his book, Sefer HaChinuch, in mitzvah 491, he explained like this. He explained that the mitzvah of appointing judges, appointing rabbis. When I say judges, Rabotai, I'm referring to Dayanim, because they're the judge today. And the Torah come to...
Sorry to interrupt. Everyone just mute themselves. We're hearing a dog barking.
I think that's my dog. I'm going to chase him away.
No, no problem.
Sorry, I'm going to chase him away.
No, I don't mind if it's your dog. That's fine. I'll keep quiet from now on.
I think so.
Apologies, Rabotai, apologies. Apologies. Okay, so Rabbi Aaron Levy born in Gorondia, like I explained, in Spain, and he born 785 years ago. In his book, Sefer HaChinuch, mitzvah 491, he explained like this, that one of the roots of that mitzvah, that we should point a rabbi, that we should point Dayanim, it's to teach us, It's to teach us. What it means to teach us? By that the Dayanim and the Rabbonim, they're going to be our light at night. That means that they're going to teach us how to go in the right direction and the right of the Torah. That means lalechet bederech haTorah, to follow the way of our holy Torah. And how can we do that? By that we follow the Dayanim, we're following the rabbis, and they're going to show us the right way, to put us on the right direction. And if we follow that, then HaKadosh Baruch Hu going to be happy with us because we're doing what he commands us. And obviously, he's going to bring on us all the abundance. So by that it says, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha, that is to lead you to choose a decent rabbi, a decent dayanim, that they're going to teach you to do the right things, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu can bring the abundance. Then the Torah tells us, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha. What it means, titen lecha? To give to you. But I saw a commentary of the Maharhu. The Maharhu is Rabbi Chaim Vital. Rabbi Chaim Vital, born in Jerusalem 478 years ago. And he asked, why is it said titen lecha? To give to you. If you look carefully at this pasuk, look how it starts. Shoftim v'shotrim. In plural, Shoftim is judges. Shotrim is officers. Again, plural, titen lecha. What it means, titen lecha? Say the Mahu, it should say, titnu lachem. You should appoint on you. Why is it saying singly? Why suddenly you move from plural to singly? It should say, titnu lachem. So, Rabbi Chaim Vital explained like this. Rabbi Chaim Vital explained that the Torah here come to tell us that nachon, that we need dayanim, nachon, that we need officers, nachon, that we need rabbi to teach us, nachon, that you need all the help that you can get from the rabbonim, from the dayanim, whoever, whatever you want to call it. But before that, before all of it, you have to understand, although that you appointed the dayanim, you appointed the rabbi, you appointed the officer, you appointed whatever you want to call it, it's lecha, to you yourself. What it means to you yourself? It's come to say, Rabbi Chaim Vital said to us, that you should be you yourself. You yourself should be the dayan, you yourself should be the officer, you yourself should be the rabbi. What does it mean? That you should know what allowed and what not allowed. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us a mouse. You should know what allowed to do with the mouse, what not. For example, speaking. We should refrain from speaking Lashon Hara. We should refrain from eating non-kosher food. HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us eyes. The eyes to refrain from looking at something that we're forbidden to look. And people don't understand that. People say, what's wrong with looking? Looking is a big thing because that's when the Yetzer Hara penetrate in, and that's when everything starts. And then HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us ears. Why dafka ears? That you should not listen to things that you shouldn't. And that's what the Torah come to tell us, Rabbi Chaim Vital. Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha. It's not enough that you appointed this rabbi, you appointed this dayan, you appointed this guy, you appointed this guy. No, that's not enough. You should be your own dayan, you should be your own officer to control yourself. Because if you not going to control yourself, who's going to control yourself? That's what the Torah come and tell us. That you're obligated to do it, okay? Yourself, first of all. Then the Torah come and tell us in the same verse, Bechol sha'arecha. What it mean, Bechol sha'arecha? On the pshat of the dvarim, that the Beit Din, the rabbi, the dayanim should be in every city, every neighborhood, every suburb, whatever you want to call it, in Israel, every moshav. That means moshav is a village, everywhere. And why is it? On a simple thing, on the pshat of the dvarim, that they will lead us what to do. But I saw a commentary that brought by Rabbi Yosef Gabbai. Rabbi Yosef Gabbai born in the city of Bozad. Bozad is a city in Morocco. He born 147 years ago. In his book, he wrote a book that called Bigdei Shesh. And he explained like this. A person can become a great dayan, a great rabbi, a great scholar rabbi, only if he control, okay, if he become his own supervisor. What it means his own supervisor? Bechol sha'arecha, when he control all of those gates, that means the two eyes, the mouth, the two ears, and the nose. What it means the nose? What can I do wrong with the nose? Smelling, Hazal tell us that the person have to be careful. Not usually women love to put perfume. Okay, but you can't. I've walked and I smell a perfume. There is a smell and there is a smell. Hazal explained that if you use the nose to enjoy from that smell, that's a negative command. You're not allowed. But if you smelled it and it was a good smell and you continue and your black box doesn't work, that's a different thing. So it's come to tell us that we should be our own supervisor. That means that we should refrain, number one, from all of those things, to control all the 7 things that we mentioned: 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 ears, and 1 mouth. But, say, Rabbi Yosef Gabbai, it's not only that you yourself should refrain yourself, okay, and limit yourself from certain things in life that pleasure. That means, if you're allowed to eat, and we know that we're allowed to eat kosher food, a person, nothing wrong with eating kosher food, but person loves to eat, let's say, a steak. So if you're allowed, the Torah didn't give us volume how much we can eat and didn't limit us. But if you want to become a great Talmid Chacham, and you want to be a great scholar person, even those kind of pleasure, if you're going to limit yourself, that will help you to grow up. Why? Because you become now a person that can control even the thing that you allowed. And that's what will help you to grow up. I saw another commentary, Bisharecha, that brought by the Abir Yaakov. Abir Yaakov is Rabbi Yaakov Abu Hatzira. He born also in Morocco, but he born in the city of Tiflat, the city that's called Tiflat in Morocco. He born 215 years ago. And he said, Bisharecha, in your gate. What does it mean? Why plural? Say Rabbi Yaakov Abu Hatzira like this. Every person, when he born, HaKadosh Baruch Hu given him 2 angels. And these 2 angels, their job is to lead him to do the right thing, to follow the Torah. But Haz v'shalom, when a person contaminates his soul, those 2 angels leave him alone and they walk away. And if they walk away, who's going to lead them to do mitzvot? No one. So it's come to tell you that the Torah come to tell us here, Shoftim v'shotrim titen lecha bechol sha'arecha, make sure that never those 2 angels will ever leave you. That means don't contaminate your soul. And the soul is very important and major key here. What it means, the soul? People can contaminate himself without even realizing. Not only by eating non-kosher food. A person that have what we call it, a person that homed is covered, or a person that jealous, or a person that hate people, he contaminate himself. Why? Because he bring on himself negativity. And Hazal tell us in Masechet Avot, הקנאה והתאווה והשנאה מוציאים את האדם מן העולם. A person that have desire, like follow his desire, not only that, he hates and he love, respect and honor, those people, he calls himself all the negativity that can come to himself. And that's what I think that the Abir Yaakov tried to teach us. Bechol sha'arecha, in every way that you step, make sure that you're not contaminating yourself. Why? Because by that you contaminate yourself, these 2 angels leave you. And then there's no one to direct you. And that's what Hazal tried to teach us, he said. Okay, so here we finish the first verse. We're going to go to verse 19. And in verse 19, we'll learn something very interesting. Look what the Torah tells us. לא תטה משפט, לא תכיר פנים ולא תיקח שוחד, כי השוחד יעבר עיני חכמים ויסלף דברי צדיקים.
You shall not pervert judgment. You shall not respect someone's presence. You shall not accept a bribe, for the bribe will blind the eyes of the wise and make just words crooked.
Okay, here we see something very nice. Listen to that. The Torah tells us that the Torah warned us from accepting bribes. And if you look carefully, this mitzvah of accepting bribe been mentioned again. That mitzvah been mentioned in Sefer Shemot, in the book of Shemot, in Parashat Mishpatim, in chapter 23, verse 8. And there the Torah tells us, Ki ha-shohad ya'aver enei pikhim. Here the Torah tells us that the bribery will blind the eyes of a wisdom. In Parashat Mishpatim, in Parashat Mishpatim, the Torah tells us that the bribery will blind the eyes of the wise person. One is Hachamim, one is wise. What is the difference? Why is the Torah repeated twice? One, Hachamim. Hachamim is a scholar people, wisdom people. But Pikhim, people with a lot of smartness, smart people. What's the difference? So I saw a beautiful answer that brought by the Gaon Mivilna. The Gaon Mivilna, it's Rabbi Eliyahu ben Shlomo Zalman. He born 300 years ago. As I mentioned before, there is a bit of a debate about the historian. Where is he really born? Is he born in Lita or is he born in Vilna? Because in that time, Vilna and Lita wasn't the same place. Okay, so the question become, and he say, why does the Torah tell us? So he explained like this. He explained that the Torah come and tell us in Parashat Shemot that you should choose a person that have a lot of wisdom. And here the Torah tell us that you should have a person, a Dayan, that should be scholar person. Okay, so what is the idea here? He said, obviously, that it's not enough just to appoint a great scholar person. And the Rabbi explained that when you come to choose a Dayan, it's not enough that he's a Talmid Hacham. No, nachon that he must be Talmid Hacham, that he must know all the Torah, he must know the Poskim, he must know the Shulchan Aruch of Bahar. That's for sure. But you have to have another thing. You have to have a wisdom. What it means, wisdom. What we call it, a person that is a street smart. That means a human trick. You have to understand the tricks of people. And there's many people that maybe they're great scholar purpose. And they know all the Torah by heart. Backwoods, frontwood, whatever you want to call it. Come and say the Gaon Mivilna. The Torah here come to teach us something very important. To have a Dayan or Rebbe, it's not enough that he's just a scholar person. You have to have also, what we call human tricks, to understand human tricks. You have to have the wisdom, what we call street smart. And that's why the Torah come and tell us twice, she repeating this verse. One in Sefer Shemot and one here. That means that the Torah knew already that there is certain people that they are manipulating. By that, if he speak loud and he speak and he shout, people will think, yes, he's right, No, the Torah come and warned us. When you appointed a Dayan, you should appoint a Dayan, not enough that he's a Talmid Hacham, that he can pasken the halacha. You should look, when there is a case coming in front of him, who's right, who's wrong. He can understand the people's tricks, the people's wisdom. That means that the Torah come to tell us and warn us that the Dayan, said the Gaon Mivilna, have to be, number one, scholar person that know all the Torah, but number two, he also have to have a bit of wisdom and to understand human tricks, what we call it street smart. So that's why the Torah repeats himself. Let's go now to verse 20. And look what it says in verse 20. צדק צדק תרדוף, למען תחיה וירשת את הארץ אשר אדוני אלוהיך נותן לך. Here the Torah tell us, בכבוד, Marky.
Okay, righteousness, righteousness shall you pursue, so that you will live and possess the land that Hashem your God gives you.
Yeah, here the Torah tell us that the word righteousness, righteousness twice. And why? We have to understand why. Why is the Torah repeated righteousness, righteousness? Why is it so important? So the Ramban, I'm referring to the Nahmanite. He born in the city of Catalonia. Catalonia is in Spain. He born 826 years ago. And he explained from that the word righteous mentioned twice, it's come to teach us two things. Number one, that it's a mitzvah that the Dayanim, when they do a din Torah, that they should pasken the right din Torah. What does it mean? Not just to hear that, to hear Chaim Yankel, to hear Chaim Shmerol again, Chaim Yankel, and then pasken. No. Listen to both of them and get down deep to the story and to understand who's right and who's wrong, so you can pasken the din tzedek. What it means, din tzedek? That you should do righteous for both of the side. The second idea is that there is a mitzvah, and Hazal telling us in the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin 32, folio 2. Halech achar bet din yafeh. Seder Rambam, from here you learn, from that the Torah tells us twice, righteous, righteous, it's come to teach us that the person, if he need to go, Has v'shalom, to Din Torah, may please God, none of us have to go to Din Torah. But if we have to go to Din Torah, the Hazal tell us that you should go to the best, Bedin that there is. What does it mean? Bedin Yafeh, it means that there is the greatest scholar person, there is the greatest Talmidei Chachamim, the greatest people that there are wisdom there, that they can pasken for you the right thing. That's on the pshat of the Dvarim. I saw a commentary of Rabbi Haim ben Attar. Rabbi Haim ben Attar, born 324 years ago in the city of Salih in Morocco. And in his commentary, Or HaChaim HaKadosh, he explained like this. He said, Nachon, that we have a mitzvah to appoint a dayanim, a judges. But we have to understand that when we come to choose a dayanim, it's not enough just to choose a dayan judge that's passed the exam and he got a certificate as a dayan. No, that's not good enough. You have to choose the dayan that not only that he have a certificate, here I'm a rabbi. No, that's not good enough. Choose one that one that he most scholar person, that he said, and if you ask him a question, he give you sources. He know how to answer the question. He doesn't say yes, no. Asur, mutar. That means there is a prohibition. No, you're allowed to do it. No. Go to the depths. Talmid Chacham have to have the wisdom to know how to give a kula. What it means, a kula? A great rabbi consider a person that can say yes to you. To find you all the hakalot. What it means, hakalot? Because to say asur, that's everyone can say asur. But to say mutar, that's the difficulty. And if he told you that mutar, where did you see it? Where did you find it? And that's what Rabbi Haim ben Attar tells us. Tzedek, tzedek. What it means, tzedek, tzedek twice? That you should choose not enough that he have the certificate. That means nothing, the certificate. That he should know, and he should be a great scholar person. That he know the Torah backwards, front and backwards. That's what does it mean? You understand me? And that's why it's mentioned tzedek, tzedek, tirdof, that you always should find a strong dayan that know the Torah backwards, front, and he can understand how to join one halacha to another halacha, how to compare one to another halacha, and then to pasken. With your permission, we move now to chapter 17. In chapter 17, in verse 4, look what it said. It sounds strange, but Be'ezrat Hashem will explain. The Torah tells us, והוגד לך, ושמעת, ודרשת היטב, והנה האמת, נכון הדבר, נעשתה התועבה הזאת בישראל.
And it will be told to you, and you will hear. Then you shall investigate well, and behold, it is true. The testimony is correct. This abomination was done in Israel.
And if you look at this verse, look what the Torah tells us. And it's been told to you, and you've been listening. No, wait. If it's told to me, obviously I'll listen. Can someone tell me something and I'm not going to listen? So we have to understand what's hiding behind it. And I saw a commentary of Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh. Rabbi Moshe Al-Sheikh, born in a city of Andripoli. Today it's called Andripolia. That city is in Turkey. He born 513 years ago. And later on, he moved from Turkey to Tzfat. He lived in Tzfat. He lived during the 16th century in a golden era in Tzfat, with Ari HaKadosh, Rabbi Yosef Karo, Maran Yosef Karo, the Ramak, Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro, the Maharhu, all the great giants, the golden era in the 16th century in Tzfat. And he asked this question, I don't understand. If the Torah tells us that the Dayanim heard already, okay, that someone told them something, obviously they hear. Why does the Torah tell us, והוגד לך ושמעת? If it's told to me, obviously I hear. No, but the Torah repeat, and you listen. Why is it? So he bring a beautiful answer to it. And he say that from here, each one of us can learn how to judge certain thing in life. Each one of us, even that we know Dayanim. And he said like this. Obviously it's for the Dayanim, but it's also good for us to learn from it. And he said like this. He said, from that it say, והוגד לך ושמעת, you have to understand. הוגד לך, someone told you once. ושמעת, it means that you heard it again. He said, that's what you have to understand. If someone come and told you something, okay, you listen. You heard that, you don't say nothing. But when he said v'shamata and you heard again from someone else, then you start investigating. That means if you hear the rumor, it's not necessary that it's true. If someone tell you a rumor, don't make a big fuss about it. But if someone told you a rumor and you heard that rumor again, then you're obligated to investigate and to listen to it. And then you should look deep into it. By that it says, someone told you something. Don't make a big fuss if you heard it once. But if you heard it twice, you heard it 3 times, now you should start investigating, look in depth, what's hiding behind it. But if you learn it once, you hear it once, don't make a big fuss about it again. But if you heard it more than once, then you should start investigating and see if there is true. Because quite often, people tell you rumors and there is nothing behind it. As we say, Hazal tell us, lo dubim velo ya'ar, no bears and no wolves. That means it's come to tell you, when you hear a rumor, and it's good for us, sometimes someone tell you a rumor, don't make a big fuss about it. But if you hear Chaim Yankel saying, Chaim Shmerel, then you must start looking at that rumor. But if someone once individually say a rumor, don't make a big fuss about it. And he said, that's, said the Al-Sheikh HaKadosh, that the Torah comes to teach us. Don't listen to every rumor that you hear on the street. Let's move to verse 15. And in verse 15, we'll see something very interesting. There's a negative command from the Torah that the Torah tells us that we obligate to appoint a king. And let's try to understand. Som tasim alecha melech, asher yivhar Adonai Elohecha bo, mikerav achicha. תשים עליך מלך, לא תוכל לתת עליך איש נוכרי, אשר לא אחיך הוא.
You shall surely set over yourself a king. whom Hashem your God shall choose from among your brethren, shall you set a king over yourself. You cannot place over yourself a foreign man who is not your brother.
So here we see a positive command from the Torah. The Torah commands us to appoint a king. We have a mitzvah from the Torah, that the Torah tells us that we, as a nation, when we enter to Eretz Israel, one of the first things that you have to do, that to appoint a king. By the way, the Gemara in Masechet Sanhedrin, in page 20, folio 2, the Gemara said 3 things Bnei Israel being commanded to do as they enter to Eretz Israel. One of them is to appoint a king. Number 2, is to destroy the descendants of Amalek. And number 3, to build Bet HaBechira. What it means Bet HaBechira? Livnot Bet HaBechira, it means Bet HaMikdash. So we see from here, the Gemara tell us in Masechet Sanhedrin, remember again, 20, folio 2, Hazal tell us that there is 3 mitzvot that Bnei Israel was obligated. One of them, to appoint a king. Number 2, to destroy the descendants of Amalek. And number 3, to build Bet HaMikdash. But here in our verse, we're learning that we have to appoint a king. Okay, that's beautiful. But the question becomes, what different if I choose a king that is not Jewish? Why does it have to be a Jewish king? Dafka, a Jewish king. So I'm going to bring 2 different opinions that the Mefarshim bring. And the first one, I'm going to bring the opinion of Hazal in the Gemara Masechet Baba Batra in page 4, folio 1. There, Hazal tell us like this. Hazal tell us a story. Hazal tell us, I don't know how many of you know about the history of the king, but we, in the history of king, we have one king that wasn't Jewish. Did you know that? And his name was Hordus. Hordus, a matter of fact, listen to that, he was a slave. He was a slave to the family of Agrippas. He was a slave to Agrippas Amelech. And he converted, kind of, reform. And later on he became a king because he took the money. And Hazal tell us in the Gemara Masechet Baba Batra, listen to that carefully, in page 4, folio 1, Hazal tell us that Hordus been enticed, and he listened to those people that enticed them against the Jewish people, and he killed the entire sages, except one sage. That was his name, Baba Ben Buta. That means that Hordus killed all the sages that was in that generation, and he left one sage. He slaughtered them. And that sage that he left, Baba Ben Buta, he also tortured him. What has he done to him? Listen to that, how horrible he was. He made a gold crown and he put it on his head. But he put spikes, gold spikes, that direct to his eyes from that crown. And every time that Baba Ben Buta tried to look, those things used to prick them, and he tried to play with his eyes until he became blind. That means he tortured him and he made Baba Ben Buta blind. There the Gemara explained that later on, Hordus find out that what Tzedukim spoke about, the sages was wrong, and he come to ask for forgiveness. And Baba Ben Buta explained to him, Ataki beta oro shel olam, you turn off the light of the world by killing the sages. If you want to light it, build Bet HaMikdash. And he built a beautiful Bet HaMikdash. And Hazal say, Mishelo ra'a, the second temple that built Hordus, lo ra'a bait yafe miyamav. Okay, that's, what is the story here? The Mefarshim explain that from here you learn something extraordinary. Hordus was kind of a Jew, not a Jew at all. He converted, reformed, wasn't Jew. But say Hazal in the Gemara and Masechet Baba Batra, from here you learn. When you appoint on you a king that is not Jewish, he doesn't have mercy, he doesn't have compassion. So the main reason that Hazal tell us to choose a Jewish king, that he will have mercy and compassion on you. That's one answer according to Hazal in the Gemara Masechet Baba Batra, Daled Amud, 4, folio 1. Okay? Dalet Amud Aleph. Okay. I saw another commentary that bring Rabbi Chaim ben Attar. Rabbi Chaim ben Attar bringing his commentary, Or HaChaim HaKadosh, and he said like this. The only reason that the Torah tells us that we should appoint a king on us, and a Jewish king, because there is a different idea between what we call a king as a Jewish people and the nation call a king. And he said like this. The nation, when they appoint a king for them in the olden days, what was the purpose of the king? He explained that the main reason that they used to choose a king, they used to choose a king that he can lead them and he can help them to win wars. That means that the job of the king for the nation is to keep them strong, that they can fight a war and he can lead them to war to win a war. That was the job of the nation king. But he's saying Jewish religion, we don't trust king, we trust HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Therefore, we have to have a Jewish king that he will bond us with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means he, by his act, by the way that he behaves, he will bring us closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That means when we see the Jewish king behaving in modest, in not with arrogance, the opposite from arrogancy and proud, that will teach us how a king should
Humility.
be.
Humility.
Sorry?
It's humility.
Humility, that's the right word. Yisher koach, Stevie. So it's come to teach us by that we have a Jewish person that have humility. And he's obviously Talmid Chacham. And he have Yirat Shamayim, the fear of heaven. That's what will bond us with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. So say Rabbi Chaim ben Attar, now you can understand why the Torah tells us that you have to choose a Jewish king, that the Jewish king will bring you closer to Hashem and to bond you with HaKadosh Baruch Hu. That's the job of the Jewish king. So from here we see two different opinions. One opinion of Hazal and Gemara and Masechet Baba Batra, page 4, folio 1, say because unfortunately, if you choose a foreign nation to become your king, he doesn't understand you. He doesn't have enough compassion. He doesn't have enough mercy to understand you. Other opinion of Rabbi Chaim ben Attar, it said that the job of the king, his job, is to bring you closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And how he must do it? By humility, by number one, that he have the fear of humility, number two, by he have the fear of heaven. And he can lead you by the way that he behave closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And now I would like to end in verse 19. Let's look at verse 19. It's very interesting thing that the Torah tells us. What is the Torah command the king? Look what the Torah tells us. How is the king become closer to HaKadosh Baruch Hu? How does the king have the fear of heaven and how he can lead the Jewish people? So look what the Torah tells us. והייתה עמו וקרא בו כל ימי חייו למען ילמד לירא את אדוני אלוהיו, לשמור את כל דברי התורה הזאת ואת החוקים האלה לעשותם.
It shall be with him, and he shall read from it all the days of his life, so that he will learn to fear Hashem his God, to observe all the words of this Torah and these decrees, to perform them.
Okay, so we have to understand what's happening here. The Torah tells us one of the commands that we have, that the king should write to himself a Sefer Torah. And he should write a small Sefer Torah and he should put it on his arm. Okay? That's one of the mitzvah. By the way, one of the mitzvot that the king have is to write a Sefer Torah and to carry it wherever he go. And the question becomes, why does the Torah tell us that he's obligated to write his own Sefer Torah, and it should be small, obviously, so he can put it on his arm. And he must carry it everywhere. Why? So Hazal explained, one of the commentary is, it says Vekarabo. What it means Vekarabo? And he should read it. And the question is, Sefer Torah, if you say Torah, when you say, Koreh b'Sefer Torah, Kara b'Sefer Torah, that means in female. But here it says, no, in male, Kara bo. Why? That many of the Mefarshim have that question. I'm going to bring a commentary of the Hatam Sofer. The Hatam Sofer, his name is Rabbi Moshe Sofer. He born in the city of Frankfurt. Remember, city of Frankfurt in Germany. He born 257 years ago. And he explained like this. One of the command of the Torah tell us that the king should carry the Sefer Torah on him and to read on that Sefer Torah. You know why? Because he must look and he must be wisdom enough to know the Torah backwards and front and backwards. That means that the king of Israel should be a scholar person, a Talmid Chacham. Not only that, that he should have the fear of heaven. Say the Hatam Sofer, Rabbi Moshe Sofer, like this. He said that the Torah should be his CV. What it means? His curriculum vitae. That means that whenever there is a problem, or he have a problem, or one of the nation have a problem, member of the nation, he would know how to answer and to find answer and to all the problem. That means that the Torah should be his CV, curriculum vitae. That from the Torah, he immediately will know how to solve problem for himself, if he's in dire strait, or for the nation of Israel. And that said the Hatam Sofer. That was the point that the Torah tells us, Vekatav lo. What it means, Katav lo? That him himself must read the Torah and must know the Torah, that from the Torah he can find answer to solve all the problem to himself and to others. And me, the little one, I just want to add up, that's something come to me. That's what every rabbi should know. That when people have a problem, he should look at the Sefer Torah, okay? And from that, he should know how to solve problem. He should know how to find the answer to every chorus that people have. And that's what the Torah come and tell us. Vekatav lo. What it means, vekatav lo? V'ayita imo. That not enough that you write the Sefer Torah. No. That's what you write, you write. You carry it, you carry it. No, v'ayita. V'ayita. What it means, v'ayita imo? That he should be with you. V'karabo. It's not enough that you write it and you carry it and you have it. No, remember also to read it. Why to read it? That from the Torah himself, you will know how to solve your problem. That means that the Torah going to be your menu, the curriculum vitae. You have problem? I go to my Torah, I'll find all the answer. Where am I wrong? Where am I right? And Be'ezrat Hashem, that we should all merit that our Torah going to be our CV, our curriculum vitae, that we can learn how to solve our own problem, Be'ezrat Hashem. And then if we know that, our Kadosh Baruch Hu will send us Mashiach Tzidkenu speedily in our day. Amen. Ken Yeh Ratzon. Now I'm going to give time for question. Please, if you have question, unmute yourself and you can ask question about the Parsha. Maybe I didn't touch something, or maybe I didn't explain properly. Bechavod.
I just want to mention, Rav, can I just mention you explained yourself very well, and it was an incredible share. So thank you so much.
Thank you,
No, really, you explained yourself exceptionally well. You are very, very articulate, and you are exceptionally good. And thank you very much.
Thank you. I'll take the opportunity, Rabotai. You know, you all know my site. It's called, you go to Google, you write Rabbi David Levy Yeshiva. It goes straight to Dr. Les. Dr. Les, I want to thank you personally for all the hard work that you're doing, you and Liron together, and your friend, I forgot his name. What is his name?
Larry Pfeffer. Larry Pfeffer. I don't do the hard work. You do the hard work, Rav.
Please say to him, thank you in behalf of my name. Please tell him thank you, that he's loading all of those shiurim on internet so other people can benefit and can enjoy some words of wisdom. Baruch Hashem. Thank you, Dr. Les. Any questions?
Greatest pleasure.
You were saying that the kings,
Yes.
the kings, you were talking about how the kings should be behaving and follow the book. And funnily, over this lockdown, I've been reading the Tanakh and the kings specifically. And whenever the kings want a result, they just take you out. It can be your brother, your mother, your daughter. Every story about every king is how many people he killed, how much they took from someone. So everything you're saying is almost on a surface level, on a pshat, is just kill him and I'm the king.
No.
So where's the big king?
So that's where you should ask. That's exactly what I waited for you to ask. If you take, who was the first king we have? Shaul, nachon? Shaul. You agree with me? Nachon. After that, who came? David HaMelech.
And he was a torturer.
David HaMelech was the second.
Yeah, but he was a killer.
So, wait, rega, vachabiki. It wasn't a
Come back.
Who was the third one? Shlomo. David HaMelech, Chazal tell us, Adan is sure about David HaMelech.
Yeah.
David HaMelech, you know, when he used to go and learn Torah, a melech should sit, you know, melech shemahal al kvodo, kvodo eno mahul, a person that is a king and he doesn't care about the respect that you call him the king, your majesty, your honor, blah. No, he was used to sit with everyone on a floor and listen to the rabbi. David HaMelech, you have to understand, he had so much mercy on Shaul. Shaul wanted to kill him. Why did Shaul wanted to kill him? Shaul was jealous of him.
Jealousy, for sure.
Why he was jealous? Because when he saw that Shmuel HaNavi told him that HaKadosh Baruch Hu now doesn't want you anymore because you didn't kill the Amalekim, he's going to choose a new king, and it was David HaMelech. David HaMelech could kill him, and he never killed him. You know that. You know the story inside that David HaMelech was running away, and he hid inside the cave. And when Shaul came, he could kill Shaul, and he didn't. His son Avshalom, you heard what he done. He raped his own fathers. When Shaul died, David HaMelech davened to take Avshalom out of Gehenom. Avshalom beni, Avshalom beni. Every time he lifted him up from Gehenom. David HaMelech, Hazal said that when he was a king, and his time was a story about a man. A man came to him. It was a dispute between two people. Two workers gone to work, and one of the workers lent the other worker a hot-boiled eggs. And after a few months, that person said to him, listen, you remember giving you one time for lunch a hot-boiled eggs? He said, yes, I forgot. Tomorrow I'll bring you your hot-boiled eggs. You are 100% right. He said, no. The hot-boiled eggs that I given you a few months ago, if I would leave it, by now I will have a chicken, and she will bring eggs, and I will have a lot, they will hatch. He said, what are you talking about? You're giving me a hot-boiled eggs. What are you talking? He said, I don't care. I want this amount of money. And he didn't know what to do, and he was walking. Shlomo HaMelech was a little boy, because Shlomo HaMelech became king in the age of 12. So Shlomo HaMelech was much younger than 12, and he saw that man, he told him the story. He said, you want the attention of my dad? Go and start planting, okay, hot-boiled peas. He said, what are you talking? He said, listen to me. I know my dad. So that man knew where David HaMelech, when he finished in the morning to daven, and how he go to the yeshiva, and he planted. And you know, the bodyguard tried to kick him out. They start shouting. David HaMelech asked, what is all of this? He said, no, there is a man here, Michigan, a man, planting boiled peas. I said, what boiled peas? He stood for a second and he said, no. I know, you spoke to my son Shlomo. Yes, he said, what's your problem? He said, I have a dispute. He said, no problem. Bring that guy and come tomorrow to the Beit Din. I'll be there. And he listened to both of them. And David HaMelech said that to this guy, you giving him on hard-boiled eggs, that's what you'll get. You're not going to get more. But Hazal say, look from here, David HaMelech has time to do judgment. He's the king. Give it to other Dayan. No. David HaMelech will do the judgment. That was a good king. And the same with Shlomo HaMelech, we saw. That one woman said, that's my son. The other woman said, it's not my son. You remember the story, Ivan? And he said, okay. And they didn't know who's the real mother. Let's kill her. The one mother that was the biological mother said, no, don't kill her. He said, they knew the mother. So that's a wisdom. Nachon was other king, was Ahav, the king Ahav, that was a wicked, that worship idols. I agree with you. But that's why the Torah come and warn us. If you want to be a good king, make the Torah, that's the Torah that we have. If you keep it with you and you carry it and you read it, that's going to be the manual to help you to be a good king. That's exactly what the Torah tells us. You understand? But if you're a king and you don't follow the Torah, you're a king like any other king. Any other question, Rabotai?
Rav, I have to leave. I'm sorry. Thank you very kindly for tonight's share, and especially for changing the time. Thank
Pleasure.
you very, very much. And I also would like to take this chance now to wish Ivan a long life on the passing of his mother.
Thank you, Mark. Thank you.
Zayde Zut, everybody. Kol
All
Tov.
the best.
Chodesh Tov to everyone.
Chodesh Tov. Any other question?
Bye.
Who want to ask question?
Yes,
Who want to ask question? Yes. Who's that?
Hello?
Who's speaking? Yes, who's
It's
that?
Anthony.
Yes, Anthony. Yes.
Anthony.
Yes.
I want to know the golden era of Sfat. What is the golden, why is it called the golden era of Sfat, and how long was the golden era for?
Okay, so golden era of Tzfat, what does it mean, the golden era of Tzfat? Very good question. I always mention it. I will explain. The golden era of Tzfat was, first of all, in the 16th century. The 16th century was the time that the Sephardi Jews that lived in Sfarad had to be expelled. So if you look, we're speaking about Rabbi Moshe Cordoviro. Cordoviro is from the city of Cordovo. Okay, if you look again, there is Rabbi Moshe al-Sheikh, that he was in Turkey. Okay, then you have all the great Rabbonim, like, for example, Marana Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Caro, he came also from Spain, that his family have to expel. And they all left Spain during the Spanish Inquisition, or just before, and they moved out from Spain because the Spanish kicked them out. And they left Spain, yes. And somehow they get to Eretz Israel. And where they settle, Hazal say that in the Gemara, when you come to Eretz Israel, you should settle in Tzfat. Why in Tzfat? Because that's the highest city to get digest to the city of Israel, and then you can move on. So they lived in Tzfat. In Tzfat was all the greatest people, all the greatest Rabbonim. And that's why they call it the golden era. What does it mean, the golden era? The beautiful time that all the Rabbonim was together in Tzfat, the great Rabbonim. Rabbi Yosef Karo that wrote the Shulchan Aruch. You know that? Lived with him. Ari Kadosh, Rabbi Yitzhak Luria Ashkenazi. That means his father was Ashkenazi, his mother was a Sephardi. She was Jewish from, her father and her family born in Egypt. So you can understand how beautiful it was. All of those great Rabbonim, the Mahachu, Rabbi Chaim Vital, imagine living with them, listening to Torah from those. So all the Hidushim that we have, all the Sefer, the Shulchan Aruch, came in during that time, the golden era. Now, you have to understand, many people don't understand. And that's one thing I want to make clear, that בשאלות בשו"ת הרמה, שו"ת הרמה, it's שאלות ותשובות הרמה. That means question and answer of the Rama, Rabbi Moshe Isserlich. Rabbi Moshe Isserlich Listen to that carefully. He wrote that when he wrote his commentary on the Shulchan Aruch for the Ashkenazim, he wrote, if I'm not mistaken, in Simam Memchet. Memchet is 48, if I'm not mistaken, okay? Don't hold me into it. Or Memchet or Memdalet, one of them, okay? Listen what he said. He said to Maran Bet Yosef, Rabbi Yosef Karo, Kol ha'cholek alecha ki'ilu cholek al Hashchina. A person that tried to dispute against you is like disputing against the Almighty. And he said that all what I wrote, the commentary that I wrote on the Shulchan Aruch is just to tell the minhagim that we have in Europe. And you know what's happened? Rabbi Yosef Karo wrote a Sefer Torah, and he sent it to who? To the Ramah. That means that they have love and harmony between two. And that was called the Golden Era. That's the beautiful time. That was a lot of tzaddikim, great scholar people that lived in the 16th century in the city of Tzfat in Jerusalem. You follow, Anthony?
Thanks. Yes, I do. Yes, thanks.
Good. Any other question regarding the Parsha, Rabotai? Adam, I'm waiting for you. Any question? Nomi, how are you? A long time I didn't see you. You look good, Baruch Hashem. Good, good. Who else with us? I don't see. Leza see, Brian I can't see. They're all hiding. Gabriel hiding himself. I don't see anyone on the picture. But anyway, guys, good.
Yeah.
Yes, guys. Bechavod.
Rabbi, just that,
Yeah, sure.
just I don't know if it's a question or just something I've noticed is that when we're told to guard our mouths and our eyes and ears and nose and everything, I always saw it as very controlling and like negative, like we can't have pleasure and Hashem doesn't want us to enjoy the world and we've got to be like, saints. But then I only recently, and for a long time, I thought, it was a bit negative. Like, I know it's the right thing to do, but it's hard and it's not fun. It's not an enjoyable way of living to guard everything and not talk Lashon Hara. But then I thought, more recently, I realized that there's a concept of Kedusha, that Hashem wants us to be holy. That's everywhere, Kadosh, and that kind of gave me an idea of why we need to do all this stuff.
That's exactly it. And I'll give you a analogy for you to understand, to look at it to look at it in deep, to look at it more in a global area. And I'll give you now an answer. We're talking about the mouth. So many people could say, okay, talk Lashon Hara. But not only that. The Torah tells us, guard your mouth. What does it mean, guard your mouth? What's coming into your mouth? For example, when you eat, you should eat kosher. Nachon? That's one of the mitzvah, the positive command from the Torah we have, to eat kosher food. But the Torah tells us when you eat, when you guard your mouth, I didn't go into detail into it, that you have to understand also how to eat. There is Masechet Derech Eretz, that the Torah teaches us what we should eat, how we should eat, and how much to eat. For example, and I'm going to ask you a question. Did any of the paparazzi anywhere saw the Queen of England eating takeaway? Never. You agree with me? There's no picture of that. Is any of the paparazzi saw the Queen of England going to the beach with her swimming costume? Excuse my question? No. If that Queen of England that wear the hat and wear gloves, if she want to behave like a queen, if that's how a queen should behave, Kal v'chomer how much a Jew should behave. You understand what I'm saying? That means it's not has v'shalom to strangle us. It's just to give us the right direction, to put us on the right trail to go straight. Because when we are following our desire, there is no limit. So the Torah come and tell us when you speak, when you eat, how much to eat, how much to speak, when not to speak, and what to speak about. When you look, people say, what's wrong? I looked at her. What do you mean you looked at her? She's not belong to you. Why are you looking at her?
Another question.
When you start looking at her, the black box starting to think. When you smell her, sorry, I just want to mute everyone because there's some talking at the back. When you looking at her, immediately the black box start working. Why are you looking at her? She's not belong to you. You have your own wife. Why do you have to look? That means that you coveting someone else's wife. And that's what the Torah come to put us a limit. And when we're listening, what are we listening? When we see a movie, what are we seeing? And when we're smelling, I'm enjoying that smell or not? HaKadosh Baruch Hu given us the sense of smell to smell good, but not to imagine things. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why HaKadosh Baruch Hu command us to watch all of those organs. Also, if you look, we have a teeth and we have a lips to guard our mouth, to make sure, watch what you're saying, watch what you're eating, be careful. And that's what is it. So if the Queen of England, you don't see her sitting at the McDonald's, and you don't see her talking wherever you want, you don't see her in the middle of the street standing and singing, Kal v'chomer, us as a Jew, that we should be careful. You agree with me? I hope so.
Sure.
We understand. That's what.
I think also like why? How can we see it like, the reason? Is it that by being Torah, by being careful with these things, we get more reward in the next world, or we have a better life now, or we become more
that's
like
one.
Hashem?
That's for the world to come. But for here, that's for the world to come. By that I'm working on myself, and I'm not talking Lashon Hara, become a better person. By that I'm eating kosher, I can understand the Torah. The Hazal tell us like this. Chokhmah bagoyim ta'amin. When you see people that smart people in a nation, you have to believe. They're smart people. There's many smart people that they're not Jewish. Torah bagoyim al ta'amin. Why? Because a person that he's a Gentile, he cannot understand the Torah if he didn't convert properly, if he doesn't eat kosher. Okay? He doesn't have the wisdom to understand that. Because the Torah need holiness to understand that. To understand the Torah in depth, you have to have a special neshama. And the neshama, how do you get that? When you eat proper food, kosher food, when you guard yourself, and you have a lot of kedusha. And tahara. That means holiness and purity. When you keep your holiness and purity, then you can understand the Torah. Yeah. So it's not just for the world to come, it's also for this world. To build yourself, to understand the character trait of yourself that you build here, that's what you take with you up to heaven. You understand? That's it. Any other question, Rabotai? There's no question. Okay, for those of you that... Yes?
Do we say it's Anthony again? Do we say that David Hashem will read from tonight and blow the shofar tomorrow?
You say le David Urivi Yishaya. That's it. Now, Rabotai, I want to speak to you. I'm not going to be at Yeshiva College because there's no space for the Sfaradim. Usually we do that Slichot. We start from Sunday Slichot. So we can't say Slichot because there's not enough security from the medical point of view that they're really worried. So what are we going to do? We're going to have a Slichot, please God, at one of the Sfaradi shul. It's called Echal Shlomo, the name of the shul. It's the Moroccan shul. Everyone know the Moroccan. It's corner of El Rey and Bradfield Drive. And immediately after that, we're going to start every morning at 6:45. 6:45. By 7:30, then we'll have a minyan outside. If anyone suddenly stuck, Ivan, especially for you, if you can't get a minyan, you can come and say Kaddish there. You follow?
Yeah,
Ivanovich?
we started this morning at Yeshiva.
Okay, but if you can't get, because there's only 15 people and you have to book it, and sometime maybe you miss, I just want to say to those that want to daven, we have a minyan there. We're obviously going to daven outside, all the precaution, mask, I don't have to say that, sanitizing, that's all have to be done automatically. But for those of you that want to daven in the minyan and they have to say Kaddish, we're going to daven straight after that. That's mean around 7:30, because it takes 3/4 an hour. On a Sunday, usually we start. On Sunday, we start usually at 7:15, and davening is at 8 o'clock, because the slichot for the Sfaradim take 3/4 an hour, because we take it a bit more long, we're singing. And so if any one of you need a minyan and you find yourself that you need to say a Kaddish, or you want to daven to be inspired with the minyan, just remember you can join us in the morning at 7:30 or on Sunday at 8 o'clock. Okay, guys, I hope that I answer all the questions. If there is any more question, please don't be shy to ask. I would be gladly to answer if I can. Les, Dr. Les, any question?
No, you answered everything, Rav. I just want to wish Ivan also Chaim Arokim.
Thank you.
Amen, amen, amen. Please God, Chaim Arokim, Ivan, and may you never know any more sadness, only happiness, please God, from now on. Guys, wish you all Rosh Chodesh Tov. Remember, Rosh Chodesh Elul, Ani ledodi vedodi li. Try to do as much more good deeds, and Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will write us and seal us in a book of life, a book of good life, a book of good health. Please God.
Amen.
Wish you all good night.
Amen.
All the best.
Amen.
Amen.
Laila Tov, everyone. Good night. Bye-bye.